All righty, look at this. We got 153 people. Someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, perfect. We will be starting right at the top of the hour, and we will jump in. Mute my phone here. All right, here we go. It is 12 o'clock, and thank you for joining ICONversations. My name is Hank Avink. Glenn's tapped me on the shoulder to lead these for today. We love any feedback that you have. It was explained to me that we present this from the standpoint of it's the four of us up here having a conversation, which YouTube, you guys get to sit in on. If you guys do ask questions, if I can weave them in, I'll be happy to do it. And I'm looking here, and it looks like we got my friend Val. We got, and Keenan, am I saying your name correctly? All right, Val, are you here? We'll start with you then.
Yep, I'm here.
Am I running by myself today?
Can you not hear me? Hello, hello?
Val? Oh, here it is. Now, Val, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
I was just about to call you a rookie, and I realized that I had my microphone or my speaker muted, so I'm the rookie. So we got to always come from curiosity, otherwise we'll look like an idiot. So here we go, Val. We're going to start with you. Val, we met, I don't know, a year or two ago, and it's been so much fun running with you. It's been fun watching your journey. And do me a favor, for those that don't know you, will you give us a CNN version of yourself?
Sure, absolutely. So I started in the real estate industry in 2004 as a mortgage broker. I got my license in 2005 in Florida, and the market there had actually already started tanking. So I started in probably the worst period, but I was able to see my business, it doubled or tripled year over year. And I moved from Florida up to Virginia in 2007. And so I live in Charlottesville, Virginia. I used to have a team. I have, just through working with you and as my coach in the past, and just through, looking at numbers and seeing what made sense, I've actually gone back to working with just myself. And then I've added other parts to my business to help grow my business. And it has made my life exponentially easier. And my business is just growing and growing. And I'm really excited to be here and share that with you all.
And Valerie, one thing that I love about that is, we had some real conversations around net life, net income, all the way around that. And it wasn't the funnest, and I know that's not proper grammar yet. We'll work through it. It wasn't the funnest transition. Talk about net life, will you?
Yes. So I remember the first time you had me look at my schedule, and
it gave me a panic attack.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was me every day. I mean, every day was a panic attack. And, it was just so frustrating because I wasn't able to complete anything. And then my to-do list just kept getting bigger. And the important things, my kids just, I really truly remember the biggest time that it hit me was my daughter was probably a year old, and I was working on my computer, and instead of spending time with her, and she crawled up and she closed my laptop. And that was just kind of my first, like, whoa, this isn't, she's only going to be this age one time. And so I needed to kind of reset. But then life happened, and I got so stuck back into that work grind. And, when we looked at our schedule, I kind of had a panic attack. And so we talked about creating, okay, what's my ideal schedule? And I created a mock calendar of how I would like my day to be. And I just got really intentional each and every day on making that work and saying no. And, when you told me, if you're saying yes to something, what are you saying no to? And I became really, really clear on what I was saying no to, which was my family. So I really started limiting what I said yes to.
Well, what I love about it is is we were able to watch you, and you know, I think John Maxwell says when you pull you got to pull the arrow back in order for it to shoot forward. And we started holding accountable everything that you said yes to, and it's been awesome watching those results. So Keenan, let's jump to you. I heard a little bit of the national call, and heard a little bit of your background, dude. You kill it. Keenan going once, Keenan going twice. All right, so we will jump to, and if I get this wrong, please feel free to shame me. Is it Sabri?
Hey, it's Sabra.
Sabra. What a pretty name. I got stuck with Hank.
Well, it's funny. My son, they had a little boy, and he wanted to name their little boy Hank, and his wife said no. So they actually have a new dog, and his name is Hank. My son loves that name.
You know, it's funny. I've heard of more dogs named Hank. One dog was actually named after me, Hank. Anyways, I digress. So, Sabra, do me a favor. Give us a CNN version. I haven't had the honor of meeting you. And what is it that give us a CNN version of you.
Okay, well, I've been in real estate. This is my 8th year, and started individually 2015. I was on my own, did 77 transactions by myself, and thought, wow, this is a lot of work, and decided to look at starting a team. Started a team with one person, and through several transitions, January the 5th of this last year of 18, joined EXP with 2 ladies that were on my team, and we have had a year of changes and growth. I now have 5 people and plus myself. Those 2 ladies have since left, but our team is growing, and I capped, I believe it was in probably April or May, and that's whenever we just had the 3, and I had a brand new agent that just got her license, and in September I reached ICON level, and I mean, it's been amazing. Last night I was looking over numbers and looking at what, you know, how our team has grown, and I'm blown away, and I love EXP. It's just been incredible.
That's awesome. You know, what I love asking questions of people who have gone from kicking butt as a single agent. I love high achievers. Now, when we look at this, what is the biggest piece of advice that you could give looking back from an agent going from 77 transactions on your own to getting to where you are? What do you wish you would have known or would have thought of or not buried your head in the sand on?
Now, I probably to have started a team sooner and brought in that help instead of trying to do everything myself. Because when you get to that level and you're doing it all yourself, it's this is terrible to admit, but my coach is just now getting through to me, and I'm learning to delegate, and my life is starting to get easier now. So if I had done that a little bit sooner, I'd probably be a little bit further and maybe have a little bit more free time already.
You know, I believe that success leaves clues. And guys, this isn't a plug for me. In fact, I no longer am taking on one-on-one clients. Both these ladies up here have coaches, and they both spoke to the help that it's been given. And guys, whether it's a coach or a mentor, I highly encourage you to learn on the backs of others. I've paid so much stupid tax in my life, and I'm happy to write a check these days, because every check that I've written has been less than the stupid tax that I paid by not having someone walk alongside me. So Keenan, let's jump to you. Let's see if we can hear you. Drum roll, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can.
Hey, can you hear me now?
If we can't.
All right, good deal. Yeah, it looks like it was one of my settings. Just updated this computer, so my apologies, everyone.
You're good. So Keenan, I hear you're killing it.
You know, I'm hanging in there for sure.
Perfect. Get a little bit closer to the microphone. I can barely hear you.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect. So Keenan, give us a snapshot.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Give us a snapshot. Like you and I, unfortunately, have never had a chance to meet, and I'm looking forward to the time when we do. Give us a little snapshot of who you are, what brought you to EXP, whatever you want us to know.
Okay. So I actually started my real estate career back in 1995, back when you would take a real estate exam on a Scantron. And I did it, at the early years of my college, mostly did apartment locating. Later got into home sales. I got to a point where I became a broker, had 20 agents underneath me. Crash of '07 hit, and then I just kind of went solo with just an assistant. And I've really grown my business over the years with an in-house assistant and then also some virtual assistants, but just kind of being more of a solo producer.
Hey, Keenan, we got to figure out the microphone up. Otherwise, we're going to bring you back for another conversation. We're getting a lot of, I'm having a tough time hearing you, and the other, we've got 3 or 4 people on there. So can you get it closer, or can we reschedule with you?
Yeah, either way, how does it sound now?
Perfect. That sounds better. And guys, I'm
Okay.
a super high D, and I look at, we have 167 people in the room, and I'm looking at $1 per hour. So we are going to take this conversation high pace. So Keenan, back at you.
Okay, so yeah, I got into real estate in '95. I started doing apartment locating. Later got into home sales. I got at one point I had 22 agents as a broker, and then after 2007 at the crash of the market, I just kind of went back to just a solo agent with an assistant, and now I'm still that way with a couple of virtual assistants that kind of help me manage all my processes to get to the type of volume that I want to maintain.
Perfect. So when you talk about the type of volume, tell us a little bit about your volume.
So last year I did close to 26 million. I think the year before that was about 31. I'm still kind of putting together all my numbers for, my different ratios from last year, but both years were good. Prior to that, I was always a kind of a $20 million a year producer, and that's just as a solo agent.
Guys, one thing, now we are live on YouTube, so we don't know who the full audience is. One thing that I love to do that drove me nuts about other arenas that I've been in is we talk so much about gross numbers and volume. I like to really get down to net because oftentimes what I see is, I know when I ran a big team and we were running a bunch of gross volume, I made less money than I've ever made in my life. And unfortunately, I wasn't watching my numbers like I should have at the time because the alarms would have gone off. Speak to us a little bit about what you guys have done to make sure that you're maintaining net and you're holding the gross numbers accountable, and it's not just about ego. It's about actually, getting a return on your time, energy, and efforts.
I can speak to that. So that was our big thing that we worked through, and I was incredibly stressed out month after month because my monthly expenditures, and this is low, like I've heard teams that have massive monthly expenditures, but I was responsible every month for about $20,000 in between salaries and just fixed cost, and that put a lot of pressure on me every single month. And then, we had that conversation about being responsible to versus being responsible for someone, because, I felt like I was responsible for the livelihood of my employees. And that wasn't true because they also have to pull their weight. So basically I was doing, 100 plus transactions, and I wasn't keeping as much money in my pocket because of that monthly expenditure. And so what I did, that's why I've cut everything back. I now think I pay, my fixed cost is under $1,000 a month. And based off of what I already have in my pipeline that I'm working on or working toward, I will literally get $500,000 GCI this year with a ridiculously low overhead.
And $500,000 GCI, we're not talking volume. We're talking at $500,000 already in the pipeline for this year.
Yes, and it's working smarter, not harder. And I have so much more freedom and so much more flexibility because I'm being so selective with what I'm saying yes to, and it has turned me on to more opportunities and more people and better clients and greater referrals because of it.
Love it. Keenan, or Sabra, right?
Sabra. It's like
Sabra.
Deborah, but with an S.
Perfect. I even put cheat sheets on my notes, and then I started questioning myself. So, what do you guys have to add to this question?
Well, I would tell you that when I was by myself, I definitely put more money in my pocket than when I started a team. If you start a team, I definitely suggest that get you a good coach. To get started through the process. I started it without a coach, and I probably would be in a better place now if I'd done that. But I have a fantastic coach, and so we're working through it. And my team is absolutely necessary. We're very fortunate in that Rate Marketing picked us up for the Amarillo and the Texas Panhandle. And so this last year has been an investment year for us. And my husband and I, we just decided that this is an incredible opportunity that not too many people get. So this is our investment year. And with the help of our coach and with the help of Rate Marketing and the people speaking into my life, 2019 is definitely going to be a turnaround year for us. But I just know that, if you're out there and you think, oh, just going to start a team, because a lot of people will try to influence you to do so, you need to have the right people helping you to start that and get it going, so that, so you don't go in the hole.
I'd like to jump in there on that. Is guys, if you're thinking about growing a team, do me a favor. Do not dare think about growing a team unless you're already looking at your profit and loss on a regular basis. And if your taxes aren't paid, definitely don't grow a team. The number one problem that I see with real estate agents is they're trying to out earn stupid, and they keep kicking the ball down the road. And if you grow a team and you don't have those things in line, in my opinion, you're putting a lot of people in harm's way. Sabra, I love what you're throwing out there.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is whenever you start a team, you have to be really careful, because people have a tendency to think that you're going to support them instead of looking at what they can bring to the table to help grow the team. And you really have to work hard to build. It's about, the whole business. It's not about me. It's about everyone, and what, because I'll tell you, one of the things that's been really, really amazing for me this year is that I looked at our motto as being, changing lives, and, focused on those people we're helping, with, their properties, buying, selling, or investing, whatever they're doing. But what really hit me this year, and I just believe it was a God thing, it's not just changing lives of our clients, but it's changing lives of other realtors who are looking for opportunities, because it's so hard in this business to become truly successful. So that has become really my main focus, is helping other realtors to become successful. And it's kind of like the Zig Ziglar deal. I just have that image in my head, is that you see, when you're pushing someone else up that mountain and you're helping them get there, you turn around and look and you're there too.
I love that. Helping up people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want.
Absolutely.
Keenan, what about you, man? Let's see where your microphone's at.
Yeah, and how is the sound now? I've kind of been seeing on the public chats that my volume's really bad. I definitely need to replace this mic. I never use it, so.
Yeah, it sounds like it's rubbing against your lapel or something like that.
Got you. Yeah, it's actually it's a handheld mic or a desk mic, so I'm just holding it really close to my mouth. But I'll try to see what I can do. Answer as many questions as I can where you guys can hear me. When we're kind of talking about numbers and what you end up with, you can throw up some big numbers. And one of the things I've kind of learned over the years is, I might do advertising in certain things, or I'll host different events for clients. And it's really the fact of tracking all that stuff to see how much of that is really panning out, or how much of that is working, and then cutting out the stuff that doesn't make sense. We get hit up with so many calls from different marketing companies that say, hey, we can do this, and hey, we can do that. But until you really track it and see where all your money is coming in from, it makes sense to start cutting, kind of trimming all that fat off, and really focusing on what works, and invest a lot more time and effort into 2 or 3 things than, say, the 10 different things that you may get hit at all at different times that sound like a good idea, but really you just can't concentrate on all of them at the same time.
What I love about this is guys, most of us we don't love looking at our numbers and looking at our expenses and stuff like that. And my saying is, we're adults and we're business owners, and it's something that the more you lean into and the more confidence you have with it, the better off you're going to be. So Keenan, what I am going to do is I'm going to ask that we reschedule and have you on a different panel just because of the feedback and everything else, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So
No,
Valerie,
absolutely.
and thanks so much for taking that the right way. So that with the two that we have left, now that we're looking and we're seeing a normalizing market, what are you guys doing purposely to combat that, if you even feel that you need to, based on where you're at?
So for me, basically what I've been doing is just reaching out to my database. So through, utilizing send out cards, I have everybody where they're getting basically a card a month, all of my past clients, and I've actually gotten, quite a few new listings from past clients. So a lot of everything that I'm doing right now, I'm not seeking out new people. I'm really pouring into the people that I've already done business with, because with having done business in Virginia since 2007, I have a lot of people that I've done business with. So just pouring into those people and helping enrich their life and asking them questions. What can I help you with? Who can I connect you with? It's come back to me, as far as personal referrals from them. So that's really what I've been working on.
So with send out cards, how long have you been using that?
I've been using them for about a year,
Okay.
and it's really cool because a lot of times I don't hear back when people get cards, but like the other day, because I sent out a Christmas card with, my kids and I on it, and somebody's like, man, I got that card, that's so cool, I can't believe how big your kids have gotten. I was like, oh, that's weird, because I haven't heard from anybody, but they are getting it and they are taking notice, and it is helping me to stay top of mind, and it's personal.
Love it. My assistant, every single day, she's charged with sending out at least one card. And typically she's getting 6 to 10 cards a day. And it's the biggest return on investment, when I look at my P&L, that we see as far as expense versus ROI that we're seeing. So Sabra, how about you?
Well, one of the things, and part of this is, and in learning to build a team is, bringing in people who are better at things than you are, because you can't do it all. And I have brought on a lady, she's my marketing specialist. She's very young, and so she brings a whole new concept to what I can keep up with and do. And so we have, and then we have an admin that we've just added. So with the KV Core, that has been amazing. Ours is really just getting up and going, but we're taking all these leads that we've had over the course of my 8 years, and reaching back out to everyone. So we're reaching out to those. We're also really reaching out, like Valerie was saying, to our past clients, and asking for those referrals, because you think about it, if you had, I mean, how many past clients, how many people have you closed? And if you go back to each one of them, if each one of them referred one person to you, that's a boost in your business.
So
So
Sabra,
we're looking at that concept also.
I'm going to ask a question right there to all of us in the audience. If you have a past client or a past sale, can you tell us the last time that you proactively reached out to them?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking everybody to ask themselves the question,
Oh,
and I'll go ahead and ask the question to you.
That was one of the things that, and again, through my coach, you get so busy with all these new leads and these new people coming in, you forget about your past people and the fact that they're going to make changes. And so I've really been intentional about going back to my past clients, and it breaks your heart when you see a house come on the market and you sold it to them. And go ahead.
I look at that as stupid tax, and I love seeing that because we oftentimes move away from pain. So Lisa asked for actionable things. Here's the number one thing that I've seen work for agents. Have a simple Excel spreadsheet with every closing that you had for each year. And then on a monthly basis or weekly basis, when you have that lottery of time, so to speak, go through and see what name sparks you or you haven't thought of, and reach out with a simple text, a postcard, a mailing, a Facebook message, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. everybody always asks what's the best CRM, and I think it's the one that you use, and how simple can you keep it. Sabra or Deborah, Sabra, jeez, oh Pete, or Valerie, any other actionable stuff on this topic?
I'll tell you something. Now, this was a little time consuming, but you talk about easy and it didn't cost me anything. But so for Thanksgiving, you know, when there was just downtime, I decided I would go through my phone because people like to text, and I love text too. So I sent text messages, and I was shocked I didn't get, I mean, I barely touched my phone contacts, but just by sending out that happy Thanksgiving, hope your family's well, you know, just simple like that, nothing real estate. I picked up several clients because it brought me back to their memory. And I know people are asking for specifics. I also have a magazine that goes out, and there's a digital and there's a hard copy. And I get calls from people, their past clients, and they'll go, oh my gosh, I love getting your magazine every month. And it just puts you right in front of them. So I was just thinking about some specific things that are working. And hey, somebody to work on your phone and send out that text message around holidays or anything like that. You'll be shocked at what happens.
Yeah, it's you know, oftentimes what we're doing is we're looking for the magic pill, and I think the magic pill is action and showing up. Valerie, you have taken automation to a whole nother level, and we're not just talking your typical 33 touch, we're talking personalized automation. Can you tell us a little bit about it and how you've worked towards this?
Yes. So I am so excited about this, and I will talk really fast. So you all just type in and tell me to slow down when you want me to slow down, because that's that my hands are going, I get all excited. So I have, you know, the biggest thing with, you know, not having a team anymore is, you know, how can I automate tasks that are happening on a day-to-day basis with a manual person? So how do I go from a manual business where I have to do things manually every day into an automated business? And so I started, you actually turned me on to ActiveCampaign. And so I started researching and looking into ActiveCampaign. And, you know, it all started, gosh, probably 5 years ago when I went to a KW family reunion and Greg Harrelson was the speaker. And Greg Harrelson, he's with Century 21. If you guys don't know him, look him up. He sells over 1,000 homes a year, and he utilizes automation, but he utilized a platform called Infusionsoft, which you literally have to write code to be able to utilize it. And I paid, you know, $5,000 for all of his funnels and this platform Infusionsoft, and then I couldn't use it. And they're like, oh, you want to learn how to use it? That's an additional $500 a month. Oh, you want somebody to $300 a month, $1,200 a month for a one-on-one person to help you. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. ActiveCampaign. So what it's allowed me to do is, perfect example, when I get a property under contract, I have an automation, drop the client into the automation. They get an email, congratulations on your new property. And they get a handwritten note, a card in the mail that automatically sends out, and, you know, it tells them congratulations. So they get a personalized touch. And then I say, stay on the lookout. In a couple days, you're going to get an email, and it's going to tell you a little bit about, and in that first email, it gives them moving companies. It gives them just all kinds of tips and tricks that I put together for people that are having to move, you know, box companies, remember to change your address, links to the postal, you know, voting registration cards, stuff like that. So they have all this information, and I'm informing them. So I say, stay tuned. In a couple of days, I'm going to send you an email about the home inspection and pitfalls to look out for. So, you know, 3 or 4 days later, they get an email, and it has, you know, different things that come up in a home inspection, different ways we can, you know, get around them, that you can ask the seller to do improvements. So I have this for buyers and for sellers, and they're different. So for the sellers, I tell them, you know, make sure your gutters are clean, extend your downspouts. If your downspouts need to be extended, cut any branches off of your house.
Pause it real quick.
Okay.
Everybody write this down. If-then statements. What I love about the way that Valerie's mind works is, if this happens, then this happens. And it's not, how many of you guys have ever received automation that has nothing to do with where you're at? This is real automation where it follows where you are in the process. And she's done a great job taking the, if this happens, then this happens, and it shuts everything else off so that you don't end up becoming in the background. Now, guys, Valerie and I no longer have a coaching relationship. We're still friends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this isn't me plugging her for, you to jump into it. It's me plugging in awe of what she's been able to put together. And Valerie, as an ICON agent, what I'd ask that you do is, would you be willing to do an hour on this where you talk more specifics about exactly what you've done, and then maybe be able to show some of the stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's literally mind blowing, and it's behavioral marketing, because it's completely based off of the behaviors and activities that people are doing. And we have some of that with conversion or with KV Core, but that's only for people coming in like buyers. So I also have it for real estate agents, for agent attraction. I have it for agents that I'm working with. I have it for agents that I'm doing referrals with. So there's so many implications with it where it's very specific and personalized, but people can't tell that it's automated.
Now, one of the things that I'd like to point out here is it seems like everybody comes here to this problem and they want it solved overnight. And here's what I'd like to ask all of you guys to do. How many months have you been in real estate? And, typically we're going to hear, 36, 60 months. And what if each month you just put one new if-then system in place? Where would you be today? See, the whole key to a system like this is knowing that it's going to be time on task over time, and it's not something that you can do overnight. Would you agree with that, Valerie?
Oh, absolutely. This has been we're going into year 2 of it, and it's still, still working towards it. And I still tweak it, and I still add to, and I still change, and and the technology is also evolving. So where they now have this thing called goals. So you can actually run people through the process faster once a goal is achieved. And so there's just, it's constantly evolving and getting better. And as an ICON agent and as a top producing agent, we have to stay abreast of those technologies. And it's just something that I literally look into every single day.
Well, I was in Phoenix with the other influencers, and Glenn and I were having a conversation about ActiveCampaign. In my opinion, ActiveCampaign is the Infusionsoft for normal people. And it's amazing what it can do, yet please do not jump into ActiveCampaign unless you're looking at it as a longer term process, as my Canadian friends say. Sabra, what are you finding works best in your business for systems and accountability to make sure things don't slip through the cracks?
We are, right now, we have been just a team of running by the seat of our pants. So this year with our coach we started with our coach about, I guess, a little over a year ago. So he's really helped us get some systems in place, and it's still a process for us. I think the KV Core is definitely helping. I think there's been a lot of balls dropped, and our team is growing. We need more team members to keep up with everything that we have that's rolling in. And so I'm really hoping that the KV Core helps us to stay on top of all of that. I know that it's obviously working because we get messages from people. They're getting those messages out there.
So there's a great book that I revisit at least once a year that speaks to this, and it's called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. I think he does a great job of mapping out, putting systems in place and helping walk through where you're being the technician, where you're creating a job. If you've read the E-Myth, feel free to put any feedback in on here. Keenan, are you back with us, and do we have any better audio?
No, man, I'm just listening, and we probably just need to get this mic replaced, and I can come back and do it another day.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it sounds like we're in the same spot. When we look at systems and automation, one thing that I love about Glenn is his ability to create systems and break them, and not creating new systems when you haven't broken the old one yet. Sabra, is there anything going on in your mind that you want to make sure that we speak about today?
I think, that's the main thing. I knew that I was told by my coach that it was critical to get the systems in place. And, my system was just what you said. And it actually made me feel a little bit better because it was a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. I came from a legal background. So, and it had like every detail of every person and where it came from, the whole works. At some point, that gets a little bit cumbersome. So I think that my advice to people is, just be sure that you do have that mentor that's helping you before things get the better of you. And, fortunately for me, I had that guidance and got the coach, and I now have people. And another thing too is if you're starting up a team, you know, you just got to really be, you have to be ready for people are going to come and go, and not to take it personally. And it's okay. Everyone has to find their place, but it's like whenever the right people come and they fit into that place that you really need, it's absolutely amazing. And like right now, I have a team that, everyone is really fulfilling their roles and they love what they're doing, and we're really seeing things come together. And and it's a lot of hard work, and you just don't give up. You just keep
So,
plugging away.
Saber, I've seen like 10 questions of who your coach is. Would you mind
Oh,
sharing that?
absolutely. My coach it's Kinder Reese, Jay Kinder, and Michael Reese, and John Kitchens, and we meet on a weekly basis, a conference call.
I actually transferred one of my coaching clients over about a year ago because they were looking to scale to another level. And guys, finding the right coach is key. And if you find the right coach, it can definitely help explode your businesses. Valerie, anything that you've been chomping at the bit outside of what we've already talked about?
Nothing too much that's really outside, but I just want to, second and third that about getting a coach, because my business, I've flatlined and I was at about 5 million a year. And I had a coworker and colleague of mine that said, you need to get a coach, you're there. And my business went from $5 million a year to 13 million in an 11, 12-month period. So I think it's really important to, invest in yourself. And us as real estate agents, we fail to invest in ourselves, and that's really, really important. So that's probably, go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember my accountant one year said, "Hey, we need to talk about one of your expenses, and it's coaching and education, and it seems a little out of line." And I said, "How has my income looked over the last couple of years as far as going up?" She goes, "Well, it's been incredible." And I said, "Then don't ever ask a question of how much money I'm spending on myself and education and coaching, because it's in direct proportion to what the net income is." Blair's asking the questions about teams, and I think team can be such a generic term that we use. And Blair, I'm going to speak just for a minute on this. When it comes to teams, EXP truly is the first model that I've seen where you are encouraged to help people outgrow you. And the biggest challenge I've seen with teams with other brokerages that I've been at or that I've run with is somebody's losing. I mean, when you look at it, there's always somebody losing in the team models, and Glenn has created a structure in which that if a team member does outgrow you, it's okay because you can continue to see an ROI on it. Now, we're currently in the beginning stages of growing another team, and it's called Operation 36. And the whole goal is to bring newer agents on, help them get to 36 transactions with the whole incentive of helping them go out and do it on their own and spread their wings, which is exciting that we have a platform where it can work for that. So Sabra or Valerie, how have you done the team structures? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Give us a little bit around that.
So I have usually always taken new agents and kind of trained them up, and then they end up going off on their own. And that's what I always tell them. I said, look, my goal here is to teach you how to be a really good agent, and then for you to go do this on your own. And my splits for listings have typically been a 60-40 split. So 60% to the team because we're paying for photography and sometimes staging and signage and lockbox, and 40% to the agent. And buyers are 50-50. And then we had a tiered structure, so it incentivized them to do more deals. So it was more of a win-win. So we ended up, I think the lowest we got was 25% of a deal once they had capped and they had paid a certain amount into the team, because we wanted to incentivize them to be better and grow and be better agents.
Valerie, with everything that you're saying there, I love Glenn's value of adaptability, because I think you've got to be adaptable and look at things from a common sense standpoint, and having real conversations. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about extreme expectations and communication on doing that, because I think one of the biggest challenges I see with teams is not over communicating, and somebody being disappointed in what they were expecting versus what they were receiving.
Yes. And when I have hired experienced agents, they're the ones that get the most disappointed. And I remember I had one conversation with an agent. She was doing 0 production before she came on the team, and in her first month she was paid out over 18,000 in commissions. Her second month she was paid probably 19,000, and then she came to me and she's like, I don't think it's cool that you're taking half of my commission. I was like, whoa, you went from $0, you're making 50% of something instead of 100% of nothing. And it's really hard for experienced agents to understand that mindset. And it was difficult for me to further kind of show, I guess maybe I did a bad job of setting that expectation up front, but I thought that it was implied. And if I were to do it all over again, because I thought they understood that 50% was 50%. But
so there's a great book with communication called 5 Dysfunctions of the Team. And I've seen it modeled very well within EXP, especially within leadership, on modeling it. Sabra, what would you have to say around communication, where you won, where you've lost with teams, and what's your team structure?
Okay, mine is I think mine's pretty different than most people. I came into real estate because I wanted to, have my own business and be independent. And I felt like a lot of teams basically are giving people a job as an employee. And so mine's totally different. We don't have like set roles. I mean, if you get a listing, that's great. I don't limit people to being a buyer's agent or, a showing agent or things like that. So they have more opportunities, so they're a better rounded realtor for whatever, life's going to bring them. But we do 50-50 on team leads, and then I do a 70-30, like if it's something that they bring to the table, because I'm still providing, a lot of things. We provide the signage, their cards, and, a number of other things, the marketing, all of that. So, and as far as, I agree with Valerie. I mean, it's so hard, because even when you tell people and you try to set that expectation, and so they really understand what it is, when you have an experienced agent come on board, it's harder for them to grab hold of that. But that's probably a sign that experienced agent, maybe needs to, it's like with EXP. Well, go ahead and come over to EXP. I'll still support you. I'm still going to help you. I'm here, to mentor you and everything. But you might be better as an independent agent instead of on my team, because they do have a harder time, because they look at that and they go, why am I giving you some of my money? Even though, maybe they weren't doing as much business, or they haven't given it the chance yet. And I know I've experienced that a few times. And but that's one of the hardest parts. But with new agents, they come on board and they're so excited because they're having business right off the bat, and they're up and running, and it's fun.
What I love that we're talking about here is real conversations and not avoiding the elephant in the room. There's a great book by Susan Scott called ICONversations that I've seen do wonderful jobs on helping people confront things proactively versus reactively. Blair says, thanks for addressing this issue, as I'm going to be incorporating these ideas. I think EXP gives us so much flexibility, and I've been studying the team model quite a bit. I'd be willing to get with Brad and go deeper on what I've seen work with teams and what I've seen not work. I've had the luxury of helping a lot of people um, um, get in a better spot when it comes to teams. I believe that only probably 5% of people should be growing teams, um, and there's far too many people doing it. So, Sabra, what we're going to do now is we're going to give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get on the soapbox and share with anybody of the listeners here whatever you would like. And then Valerie, we're going to go to you. And then we'll end a few minutes early here because we only had 3 of us instead of 4 of us.
Okay. Well, I would tell you last night, I mean, I literally had tears in my eyes as I was looking over our year and what has happened in my, my real estate career. And I just look at, where I started and where I've come from, and it's been through hard work. And a lot of people, this is another thing used to be aware of whenever you're growing a team. People think, you get some people that think you're just going to hand it to them, and they don't understand how hard you've worked for it. I started off in 2011 getting my real estate license, and my first year I thought, I'm not going to be able to pay the dues at the end of the year if I don't close at least one thing. I was working full-time for attorneys and trying to start real estate, and I ended up with 12 transactions, which at that point was the national average, and I thought, wow, that stinks. And my goal was to double and every year. So the next year I did 26, and I went full time. And then I had 56. Then I went to 64, 77 in 2015. And I was like, man, I can't double by myself any longer. And that's when the whole team thing came in. It was months and months of studying and praying about it to decide whether that was a good move to make, or if I was going to have to start giving away some of my business. That's the only reason I started a team. I really didn't want to give it away. I decided that at that point that I love this and I wanted to build something. And I wanted to build something that would outlive myself, and hopefully my children will jump on board. I've got 3 kids. I think they're definitely interested. And at this point, even if they don't, I've got this great team, and there will be people that will carry on, even if it's, if something happened to me. And so I had to start really looking at that bigger picture of it. And just because of where God was taking me with this business, I went to a mom and pop small boutique, helped them get started with the residential side of their business. He was an ag broker and became very successful with that. And then that's when I started looking at the EXP model. And, it was like I was going to get my broker's license and start my own company. And when you looked at comparing it, I mean, it was a no-brainer. What EXP could offer, I mean, I could never offer for all these, for other people. So that's whenever I, made the decision to start January the 5th this year with EXP. And, I mean, I'm a hard worker. I've always worked hard. I work for attorneys. I worked around the clock. That's just my nature. I tend to be a workaholic, but I never turned anything down. I'd sell it whether it was 5,000 or whether it's 500,000. Our average price point in our market is probably about 150,000. So, so it's a little bit smaller market, but, I was absolutely, of course, my goal from day one is I'm going to be an icon, and I mean, I was so excited because I'm very goal oriented that way. And then whenever I went in October, and it really hit me, and Wilco is my upline, and he was there and came up and hugged my neck. And I told him, I said, wow, I said, this was my goal, but this is a really big deal. And he said, this is a huge deal. And I mean, this has been, it's been a turning point for me this year with EXP and making Icon, and for the goals, for me personally, for my team. And I mean, but I think the other thing that we keep going back to it is, like you said, you can't do it by yourself. You have to invest in yourself. Majority of agents never invest, more than probably, $200 or $300 a year on themselves. You have to invest in yourself, whether you're going to build a team or whether you're going to be independent, to be truly successful and to see, what all, God has for you out there in real estate. I love real estate and I love EXP. And I think that, I tell people that EXP offers the greatest opportunity for realtors that there is out there. We don't have a retirement plan, but with EXP, you can actually build a retirement plan. And so that, if you don't sell a house, you don't eat concept, you can actually work your way past that. But it's a lot of hard work, but man, it's worth it. And it is so much fun. And it's fun to find those people who have a passion for it like you do, and to work with them, and helping other people, but also helping, people in this business.
Very cool. My turn. Hank? Yes. Cool. Well, that's cool, Saber.
I'm running. I'm jabbing away, and I'm like, Saber. And so, Saber, what I was getting at was your energy and your enthusiasm is awesome. And guys, number one thing that I see is if you aren't getting what you want, ask yourself: is your energy and your enthusiasm in alignment with what Saber is showing us up here? 9 times out of 10, that's what's holding you back. So, Valerie, you're on the clock. 2 minutes to lead us out with your soapbox, and then we'll jump from there.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of with Sabra that, I got into this industry because I wanted to help people. And so my biggest change through the year, so I went to the team because I wanted to have something that, if I wasn't able to work, that it could produce an income. And then I kind of realized that I can't help as many people that way. How can I help more? And so that's when I got into doing business coaching and working with you through that process. How can I help as many agents as possible to help as many people as possible? Because then all of a sudden I went from helping 100 people a year to helping, 100,000 people a year, because I'm helping these coaches be better at helping people. And then I kind of next leveled that, because coaching went from I went from having a business in real estate to having a job again when I got into coaching. And so that's when I got into the automation. So how can I, automate? How can I teach agents how to automate their business so now they can provide more valuable information to their clients and have a higher level of customer service, and, ultimately help more people. And so I'm, if you guys are familiar with the AVA, I'm a 1 double asterisk on my vector 4. So I'm a huge big picture thinker. And so I took it kind of the next level. And then I started figuring out, okay, so now my real estate business is going to, I'm going to be very selective in who I'm doing business with, because I want to provide that higher level of customer service. But now how can I start replacing the income that I'm potentially losing because I don't have a team? So that's when the EXP model with rev share came in. And, the other opportunities through, send out cards and other passive income that comes in that way. Investing in properties. I just purchased a property that I'm utilizing as an Airbnb. So I started looking at additional income streams to start building my business, so I don't have to be in real estate anymore necessarily. And I'm still being able to provide value. So
your 2 minutes is
kind of what I've done, and that's it. And that's it. I'm done.
I love it. And guys, I'm a super high D, so I'm looking to help get you guys the most value as possible. And I'm going to take just 60 seconds here at the end. Sabra, thank you so much. Valerie, thank you. Keenan, I look forward to getting you on the schedule next. Is the one thing I want to address is our company is in the midst of some pivots. And here's the question that I'd like to leave you with. Are we going to focus on the force of average, or are we going to focus on the leaders? Our leadership is incredible. As we pivot, there's going to be people that might be doing business not the way that you choose to. For example, in real estate, there's people out there that do expireds and for sale by owners and circle prospecting, and it might not be the way that you do business. What you focus on expands. So do me a favor here. Let's all make sure that we're staying in our lane, doing business the way that we believe to. And if we see somebody that might not be doing business the way that we would like, forward it on to compliance, and let's focus on the direction of where we're going and staying in curiosity. I love our company. I love the enthusiasm that we have. And if we're going to grow to 45,000, I'd like for all of us to ask ourselves, where are we pulling the chain? And where are we hanging onto the chain and being an anchor? I believe it's our responsibility for all of us is to see where we can help out, where we can show up. And guys, that's why I'm showing up on this call, is I just want to help our company grow responsibly And thank you to the icons for the conversations. Feel free to give us feedback. If you thought that I sucked today, that's okay. I'm volunteering. If there's someone better, happy to let somebody else jump in. We're here to serve, and appreciate you guys, and best of luck, and have a great weekend.